guess who it 5-5 Thias Kangi hi Kangi hi Kangi hi Kangi deal with it Kangi deal with it Kangi poke snack 3 years goes by fast as fuck boy.
Good evening, one and all. It is Sunday, it's the end of the week, and it's time that we jump into some more of that good old Warframe. Somehow I'm ahead of the timer, but whatever, who cares? Who cares indeed? Let's get going straight into it, shall we? Welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well where you are around the world today, and of course, to get us started with the almighty Queen River up onto 37 months of Prime. Much appreciated there, Queen. I hope you're doing well yourself. I mean, 37 months is a little bit more than 3 years. It's a month over, but you know what? I ain't going to complain. Keep it going. 4 years is the next milestone to hit, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Alright, I have my audio slightly wrong still on this side. Let me just fix that. There we go. Right. For some reason the music was a little bit louder in my ears than it should have been. I have also messed with the audio settings of the stream, so if there are any issues on stream side, do let me know. But I have messed with the audio settings. Very simply is that I went over the footage from the repo stream, and there were an uncomfortable number of times where I simply got loud and it clipped. It well and truly just went not great to hear, I'll be quite honest. It sounded unprofessional to me. So I've made some changes, made some adjustments to the settings, and hopefully things are coming through nice and clear and won't clip anywhere near as often or at all. At all would be ideal, but we'll see. It is, after all, a Blue Snowball Ice, not some $5,000 Ultra whatever. So yeah. Are we going to try again, sing along again? We are not, no. That is not on the plan today. Yo!
Not sure what flavor of weapon is missing from Warframe, but I do know that I'm glad my schedule is lining up to let me tune into these streams again. Kangi Quinn, Kangi Quinn, Kangi Quinn, Kangi Quinn, Kangi Quinn.
Well, there we go. At the very least, you're able to tune in there. That is much appreciated all round. That you're able to then drop your Tier 3 sub, no less, on 54 months of that. Quintus Max, absolutely maxing out that stat right there. Much appreciated. And of course, you gotta flex the drones. Yeah, gotta flex them as well. Thank you very much for continuing support here. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I do see we have got some interesting bits and pieces to missing weapons. So Quintus there with the point that I'm not sure exactly what's missing, but we've got a few others that pointing out we've got missing one-handed hammer, suggests a Blue Fortress 2. I mean, on that, if I go for the crunch, I mean, it may be in the machete class, but tell me that's a machete. Go on, try and convince me. Despite what the stance says, convince me that is a machete and not a goddamn hammer. Look at that thing. Look at that. That's a hammer. And it is a one-handed weapon. Despite the two hands used for the general pose, it is overall wielded as a one-handed weapon. So you've got that there. We've got there the suggestion of, where does it go? Class point weapon at once is a full-on minigun. So we do have some weapons which kind of get into the area there. We've got machine guns. In terms of a minigun, I guess the closest I can think of right now would be some of the heavy weapons, because of the way you hold it. And if you don't want to use a heavy weapon outright, the Fenmore when transformed kind of fits into that feature, although it does have a slowdown effect, which is kind of weird. So, not as clear on that. Oh, listen, welcome on in. Yeah, we've 4.5 years in a row. Quintus has been here a while. Quintus has been here one hell of a while, absolutely. It was Quintus that obliterated the previous collection of iron sculptures down here. This used to be a larger collection. It was up to here, I think. It was up to there. We had more on the ceiling as well, more on the walls. And it was Quintus that obliterated them. Melted every single one of them down to endo. What a day that was. That took a while to pick them all up as well. Holy damn. That took a while. Speaking of sculptures, do I actually have any more than I... Oh, okay. Well, let's fix that. Can't just having these lying around. Is it me or is that... That sounded weirdly muffled. That sounded weirdly muffled. Have I screwed up something on my audio somewhere else? What? Hold on. Let's just do this. I mean, that's working fine. That's working fine. Dark Wolf Seal. Thank you very much for dropping your Prime here up onto 25 months. Much appreciated. That sounds fine. Yeah. So that's all working fine. Alright, I'll get over it. So why was that bit muffled? That is... There it is again. Yeah, it's definitely muffled. Huh. May wonders never cease in this game. May wonders never cease. But yeah, as Quintus points out, if we go into decorate and I search for domestic drone, you may notice, in addition to the number of drones which are actually already placed over here from 2024 QTCC, if I recall correctly, we then have dozens of each of these core 6 drones as well. And the vast majority of that came from Quintus and Esprit, gifting me a drone for every single art and sculpture that got melted down when Quintus had his absolute moment with us. So, that's a lot of sculptures. That is a lot of sculptures. So yes, let's add to the new set. Many years in the making now, but still newer. Just place these extra ones in. Not going to care too much as to how they're placed. More a case of just placing them. That can go on over here as well. And then we got some of these fat ones. Let's see. Let's go with... No, don't be tilted. Why are you tilted? That, like that. That, and like that. There we go. Woo! Alright then. From Shezwell, let's go back to the roots and nickname. What about a disc throwing gun? Some kind of spin fuses. I'm not sure what a spin fuser would be. But in terms of disc firing guns, yeah, like you say, there is the alt fire and the Cedo. I think someone else pointed out the Azima does a thingy-bobbity of it, kind of. Mitre. Oh yeah, Mitre fires saw blades. Very right there, Mirrorlave. Yeah. That's right up there. Yeah, the Zenith literally launches saw blades as its weapon, as its projectile. So that is right away up there. Panthera suggestion, bro. Yep, that's another saw launcher. You're absolutely right. I completely forgot that. Yeah, this one fires them vertically, whereas the Mitre was firing them horizontally. Go figure. Still saw blades. Is the Mitre actually good? The Mitre Incarnate can get work done. When I did my review of it, it had a number of issues, whereupon it's still good, it's just things were not working the way they should be, and too many things were not working the way they should be. So I gave a little bit of a scathing review of that one, but it is plenty usable. Oh yes, indeed. Alright, let's de-equip the Thorax, we don't need that right now. I could just sit off to the side. We've got all the rest of our gear, but do we want to take this as is? No, we don't. So here's the thing, is that I've been pretty much resigning it to just stream times because I don't want to get burnt out on Parata. And it's one of those things where it can absolutely threaten to burn you out if you try to complete it. It's very much like the drop of circuit with, oh, here is your weeklies, gotta get on them. Thankfully, this doesn't have such a weekly lock to it, so it is much easier to avoid said burnout. Much easier. But still, you gotta go through the process. Alright, so, yeah, I can purchase one of those, but then I still need materials to get the next one. Which one do I go for? Do I go for Kogron, the Hammer of Anairu, or Nidri, the Staff of Vazarin? I'm gonna go for Nidri. Or Nidri. Or Nidri. I actually don't know. Nidra. We'll go for Nidra. That's what it is.
Father Leon knows the shifting horrors of the void. That path is well worn for him. Go, Leon. Find in its mist the staff of Vazarin.
Yes, please. You two curious individuals, go ahead and find me that staff.
Awaken, ancient future staff. The time has come for your
ancient future.
To the
Ah, yes.
world of dust. Yorosholov Nidri.
Huzzah.
Nidri, the Vazarin staff, is now yours. But beware. Gifts of the void must be carefully wielded. Merci, Leon.
The fact that she plays with her hair as she says that last bit, you almost get the idea that the gift of the void she's referring to is not the staff. Almost get that impression. Or maybe I'm just reading too far into things. It's probably true. She also say, what about liquid lobbing weapons? Seems there's only Sokatron, which you can't obtain. I mean, it depends on your definition of liquid lobbing, because the Spore Lacer definitely shoots out globules, and then there's the Stug. There is also... Ooh, which one is it where you chuck the empty chamber as a grenade? It's not quite liquid lobbing, but it's certainly still in the lobbing category. Is that Catabolist? Thank you. So there are a couple in that regard, yeah. There's also the bubble gun of the compressor. Accurate? Yeah, that. I don't see why that wouldn't fit into the same category. Hello, it's not going to show up. I guess I just don't own it and can't see it from there. That's weird. Oh well. C'est la vie. All this shoots piffball mushrooms? Does it? I wasn't sure that was really the impression it was giving me, but fair enough, fair enough. Alright, so I do need to go ahead and get some more of those Parrot resources, unfortunately. And you know what? I am going to switch back to Lavos. I am indeed going to switch back to Lavos for this. I'm going to go for the weapon max setup, which will work quite nicely, I am certain. Right, let's pop ourselves into... Not that. Pop ourselves into this, into Perita, and let's make sure we are on gun buffing for Hanhalas. Oh, I mentioned a Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball? How would you... As a ability, I could see it. As a weapon, I'm not sure. Is there any flail kind of weapon or ball and chain? I think there's going to be something that's close to that.
And awaken your memories of the Burrito Rebellion.
But only close, not strictly a flail outright.
The memory of the Hunhalas itself will arise to drag you under.
And we got some stuff that's kind of mace category, but straight up flail? No. Yeah, we have got whips and blades and whips, but that's not the same. They flail, they aren't flails. The one problem with this gun being as effective as it is the inability to build up charge in a reasonable amount of time, because all the enemies just goddamn perish. An issue that something like the Torrid certainly doesn't struggle with. Nor do the Incarnate melees. But a precision weapon getting its precision headshots? Yeah. Precision sometimes a little bit too good.
You've turned the tide, but you're not done.
Alright, we need to draw out the Commandeered Prime. Excellent. Let's do it.
We need to strike back. There's a Commandeered Prime in the area. Do what it takes to draw them out.
Let's just blow that thing up because I can. Actually, it's also part of the objective, so that works out. Ooh, there, he's... Oh, damn it, he panicked. I can't headshot them when they panic. They kind of perish. Nope. Gonna try again. Nope. Can't see through the smoke. My companion is actually making it difficult for me to get the charge. Because everything just kind of starts, well, flailing. Don't need the Incarnate form if they already die in 0.1 seconds. Well, you do if you want to spray the area down more efficiently. Because it is a lot easier to take out a group of enemies if you can just kind of cast your bullets across them. Like this. You just kind of go... It is that just absolute carnage versus having to, you know, more manually aim. Never going to be aiming, I might as well try aiming for the head to try and get the charge to go back to nothing. And we run into why I do enjoy the tournament so much.
Dropships! Give those soul-damned bastards hell!
Killed him. Isn't there supposed to be a Prime Warframe? That was Order 3. Please tell me I didn't kill it so quickly that the Prime just doesn't spawn now. That would be upsetting. Alrighty. Is the transport this one over here? Because there's a lot of red markers. There it is. Here we are, that is not going to be enough. Got it.
You cut off supply lines.
Yeah, it looks like I did just skip the Warframe. Oh, that's frustrating. That got us a little bit of charge. Oh wow, how far away is this next location? Is this a double distance one? That's unfortunate. Alright, supply turrets of ammunition.
Airdrops inbound to resupply
Easy
those
enough.
turrets. Establish a perimeter and keep those soul-damned anarchs out.
Yep. Yeah, in terms of orbital strikes, Vauban's ability is there. But that's about it. We don't really call in orbital strikes all the while. Usually our weapons are what we're carrying. I suppose that could be like a railjack expansion. They could be like, oh yeah, your railjack is totally the one giving these strikes. And maybe if there was a railjack air support, and that wouldn't really fill the role as a weapon though, because you can't use that too often.
All turrets firing, and not a moment too soon.
Let's head to the next location.
Amok supply cache is located. Get close and siphon them off for our side.
Okie dokie. That fire rate is getting a little bit unmanageable. It is hard for me to fire a single shot due to the auto setting.
I want fire. I want fury. Let a Warframe take the field.
You want fire and fury? Oh, I'll bring it. Bye, Protea. Bye, Protea. I don't think anyone will disagree with that being an effective way of dispatching of a proto frame. What's stopping me? There you are. Oh. It's annoying when enemies are just out of range, but they're still somehow capturing.
Cache is captured. Marking your next target.
Next target then. Destroy the Anarch targeting array, which starts with scrambling the node.
Hammering our rear echelon. Corrupt their targeting array and then scrap the nodes.
Ah. We'll grab this over here that conveniently is already ready for us. And another one as well. Good lord. Got it. That was overkill. Didn't need to use the laser for that. I know there's no kill like overkill, but sometimes it is just an excessive use of fire. No, my companion!
Bye, Anarch targeting array.
No! Oh well, I'll be back in a moment. With a minefield, alright.
On the advance.
Well, we don't need the companion for that one.
Or if you're careful, hack 'em.
Companion is back.
Utilize the whole minefield more quickly.
Or one more. Got it.
Mine's neutralized. You got nerves of steel, Tenno. I'll give you that.
Alright, so we need to go 400 meters silver this way. Grab that, get us there faster. Hello, red potion. Oh god, this gun is full automatic now.
Hydekin stole it. Safe before Hydekin Core changed to Anarch Mind.
And we got an incoming Warframe.
One of your Warframes. What happened to its operator can happen to you too.
Oh. Let's go put this one out of its misery. Oh wait, where's it even spawned? Hello! Goodbye! And then we need to take out this thing. Damn. I tried charging off it. First headshot, insta-kill it. That's too good. Oh dear. No, no. I wasn't falling, it's fine. I'm not sure, Mirrorlave, actually. I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to be finishers and not mercies, but there have been changes to mercies to make them count as finishers in more places, so that trickery could have been changed as well. I do remember there was a time where finishers were a whole group of different finishers and different things applied to different places, but then with the unification of ground finishers to make them true finishers, I think mercies also got roped into that.
Critical intel loaded onto a tight beam transmitter, but it's gone dark. Find a way to power it to max.
Alright then. That's some battery components. Let's go grab those. They are bow type B components. Reminder, this is not an automatic weapon. Despite how it sounds. We got a B here, and an A there. I'm just about going to get this in time. There we go. 10 orders completed. I'll take that.
Get to the next rendezvous point.
Bite. Cheers for the hydrate. Alright then. Oh, a big nasty. Let's go for Leighton on this. Fully charged.
And what was done. There is no turning back now.
Great. That should give us... No. What? Where are my jump points? Shooting them is supposed to give me jump points. Where are my jump points? Where are my jump points? Oh, well that's rude. Okay. Guess I'll do this the old-fashioned way. Launch myself up. You unironically like surveys? Is that weird? I don't know. I call that weird, honestly. Aha! Jump point. Well, that was a lot of damage. There we go. Or at least a lot of hits. Later really turns into a machine gun with 10 order buffs. And then it's just sit in front of their FaceTime. Oh, headbutt me. Oh, here we go. This will skip us a stage. And finished. There we are. From Book of Many Things asking thoughts on persistence levels. Tried it and seems firm, but don't really know how strong it is. Well, here's the question I have for you. How many times were you dying without persistence as levels?
Rest now.
How often were you finding that you were not persisting? Because I find it's very few instances, unless I'm trying to go for some kind of crazy level cap play, there are very few instances where Lavos actually just can't tank it already. And the issue then with persistence is, whilst it does give you one-shot immunity, it takes away your shield gate, which is another layer of survivability in general. And that one-shot protection still requires you to be in a position to recover, so it doesn't work against large amounts of persistent DPS. Not unless you have a damn good healing setup. So it's viable if you need and want that much tank. I can't say it's strictly necessary, to be quite honest. Granted, I am running a full Umbral Grace setup here with adaptation. If you are running persistence, you do end up in a weird situation where if you're comfortable enough getting and maintaining the healing, you can just give up on all other defense. It's a really weird situation. There we are, Arcane Persistence. Should probably rank it up. But yeah. In this case here, you need to have at least 700 armor, ideally at least 1400 because of heat procs. Because otherwise a single heat proc will screw you over. Yes, Lavos can be immune to status effects through their passive, but it's not perfect, it's not all the time. And unless you want to spend an arcane on that protection as well, it is a risk. But in order to have that armor, I mean, if I pop onto a demo build for a moment, because whatever this is, I can just take it off. So there goes the armor bonus. I've still got 900. You'd want to have a bonus on that, or otherwise something to deal with heat procs. And if you're going to put anything on to deal with heat procs, you might as well just put on the armor buff. It doesn't need to be Umbral. Just 100% is enough. That'll get you over the threshold. But it means you can skip adaptation. You could choose to skip Vitality, although that does make Arcane Grace weaker. You could skip Arcane Grace if you're good enough at using Ophidian Bite, but because of its cooldown, you need to be good at that. Brother Ernie's asking, I wonder if Arcane Persistence would stop the Nama Face Laser. I would imagine so, because it's coded as damage, not strictly as death. Yes, Petra, it is a very vague goal today. But yeah, overall, this is my take on Persistence, is that it fixes health tanks being one-shot, but it costs a whole bunch to get there. You need to protect yourself from magnetic status effects and ability nullification, because if either of those things are hitting you, it turns off. You also need to have enough armor in the first place, otherwise it turns off. You lose your shields, and if you're in a situation where you can survive without shield gate, have 1400 plus armor because 700 plus isn't enough, and do be advised that corrosive procs can also exist in some missions, so you may need to go further still to be safe. Navigating against 2 to 3 procs, ability nullification, and removal of shield gate, all to maybe survive an attack. An attack that can be survived through shield gating, an attack that can be survived through overguard gating, an attack that can be survived through just having enough damage reduction in a lot of cases. And it takes up an arcane slot to do that, which could have been an arcane spent on everything else. It's one of those where like, is this actually really helping you? Now, for someone like even for Valkyrie, I wouldn't go for it, because Valkyrie has their own built-in immortality, and their immortality is also connected to the thing that would be giving them healing, which is their melee attacks and their force, so that doesn't really count. Yeah, Kalervo can make use of it, Nidus can make more use of it than a lot of frames, even though Nidus has an immortality pass as well. Inaros, yeah, I can see Inaros using it. A curious one, or curious few, will be things like Wukong and Atlas. And the reason I bring up those two is because they have armor generating abilities as well. Atlas can generate the armor through the collection of rubble, Wukong can generate the armor through Defy. But they don't have anywhere near the overall staying power, and so avoiding a one-shot can be nice for them. But again, if you're going to want to avoid one-shots, you're probably going to want to avoid the one-shots by shield gating instead. Shield gating is just vastly more reliable. Vauban can generate armor with his 4, but at the same time, Vauban shouldn't be worrying about tanking that hard in the first place. You've got a very high control frame there. You've got plenty of opportunity to stop the attacks happening in the first place, and then second to apply shield gate. So the 1000 armor is not as ideal there, especially as it takes time to kick in. I'm nowhere near as sold on that one. It did cross my mind, just, yeah. Happy to see me say you can also turn Hildren into a shieldless health tank for the funnies. I don't know, I'd use persistence for that. If you're going to go health tank Hildren, you want to be using a subsumed ability, which is parasitic armor. This will turn your shields into armor. The conversion rate starts at 100% and is scaled by strength. So rather than never having any abilities because of persistence turning off your shields, you can instead have one ability, which also turns off your shields, but gives you a shit ton of armor for it. By and large, that is probably better. Especially because you'll struggle to get that amount of armor and damage reduction on Hildren otherwise. Do bear in mind though, either of those ways, Hildren then just becomes a brick. A worse than pre-rework Inara's brick. Because you can't cast. Clash would say, if you wanted to make persistence work, what other arcane would you take? I mean, it comes down to the healing then. If you need to do more to make persistence work, if you haven't met its criteria yet, then you're trying some other arcane to meet its criteria, whether that is maintaining the armor amounts that you need, whether that is avoiding the heat and magnetic procs that can screw you over, whether it's honestly not entirely sure what else. It's Grace for healing. It's the best one for healing overall passively. If you want to go for more active healing, there are things like Arcane Victory, but I wouldn't lean on it anywhere near as much. Ultimately, Persistence is taking up one of 2 arcane slots. There's really not many to work with. And it has some steep cost and curious restrictions, all to avoid a one-shot. The whole point of health tanks in Warframe is that they don't get one-shot in the first place, by and large. Is Blessing not good with Persistence? Well, Blessing will give you more max health, but now you've got Persistence to not be one-shot, and Blessing to give you more time to respond to what could be killing you, I suppose. Because you can't be hit for more than 500 damage per second, that is, you can't lose more than 500 health per second from damage. Blessing would give you another 2.4 seconds. And that's your lot. An Arcane for up to 2.4 seconds of reaction time. It's not the worst option, but also remember you do need to build up the health orbs to get there, whereas this removes the shields right from the get-go. And you now have no arcanes other than just hitting that health pool. They are. You want to go with the Umbra build, you just can't afford the Umbra for it. Honestly, I get that. You can take off Prime Sure-Footed. You won't have perfect coverage against knockdown, but you'll still have the passive on Lavos, and that takes out the demand for Former here, but also takes out demand for Former on one of these Umbrals. Then you've got 5 there. If you use a correct Former for this, this comes down from 11 to... They're normally 9, so that'd be down to 5, so that saves another 6, that'd be 11 over here, so that takes off another Umbral Former. Nearly there. So yeah, you can get it down to 1 Umbral needed and still have the setup as it appears here. You'd have 3 drain left over. Yeah, the aura slot, you could go for one of the extra capacity auras. You miss out corrosive projection. That'll get you up to 7 drain remaining, and then a down-ranked adaptation, like I have here, would give you that last one. There it is, yeah. You drop Prime Sure-Footed, Omniform of this will just form whatever is supposed to be there correctly, and 2 pips down on an adaptation, which, to be honest, you don't need max adaptation. The difference between this and this is very, very small. So this is perfectly fine for the majority of uses of adaptation. You still get the same maximum bonus, it still lasts for 90% of the same duration, which, considering it refreshes, that's perfectly fine. So with those changes, this particular build fits. Now, that's just this build. On the main build, yep, again, we've got a mismatched polarity here, so the same job could be done. Downrank this, we'll upload over to, what other big ones? It is Power Donation or Steel Charge. I would go Steel Charge. You don't want to give away your strength, so Steel Charge. And again, dropping the Prime Sure-Footed. That allows you to just about squeak in a no Umbral Former, full Umbral setup. In terms of the Golden Instinct build, that's got plenty of extra capacity to spare, but no mismatches on this. But this also doesn't need to be Umbral. If you're doing a Golden Instinct setup, you're probably not worried about your tank that much. Evade is a non-Umbral setup, so that already works. And Fullcaster is also a non-Umbral setup. These could definitely be cheaper if you're using Omnipolarities. It's just because of how I've had to fit it in. So yeah. From Uncortados, you could use Persistence to remove adaptation. So here's a problem with using reduced damage reduction alongside Persistence. If you can keep up the healing, sure. But once you go down that road, you always have to keep up the healing. Not just in the event of a one-shot, not just in the event of a big hit moment. When you start stripping off the other layers of defenses, like your shield gate and just general shield hit point recovery that does happen during a mission, when you start stripping off the reduction of damage incoming up to that threshold, you need to maintain your healing approach. And most health tank frames don't have such a good constant heal to them. It's kind of weird like that. Kalevo has to constantly recast the 2 and then affect enemies around with it, and is usually more inclined to tank with Overguard. When it comes to Lavos, Lavos has a cooldown on Ophidian Bite, so that gets in the way there. With Inaros, Inaros' healing is more consistent if you've got the enemies for it, but once the enemies drop out, you need to set it up again. There are risks involved there. Like I say, you can technically just drop basically all of the defenses, technically, but you need to still hit the 700 armor minimum, 1400 if you don't have heat resistance, or heat proc immunity I should say, and then the healing on top of it. And yeah, Laura, yeah, you're right there. If you use something like the Furious or some other lifesteal weaponry, that can potentially keep you going. It's not impossible, don't get me wrong. But again, you run into circumstances where if you're not dealing damage, you are open to just goes down your health. To take the example with my current Lavos go-to setup here, with adaptation and full Umbral, my damage reduction is up to 98.7%. Up to. Adaptation usually isn't that effective due to split damage types on certain enemies. We can usually treat this as closer to 2/3 to 3/4 damage reduction. So if we were to strip that out and strip Lavos down to a minimum armor threshold, if we take the armor up 1400, our damage reduction at 1400 armor only is 82.4%. We go 1 minus 0.823529, because that's what it comes to. Divide it by 1 minus the damage reduction from this, that'd be 0.9876. Curious string of numbers, but okay. Oof. Yeah, if you drop down the armor to the minimum on Lavos here, and you remove adaptation, then your damage reduction will be 14 times weaker. 14 times weaker. That's a hell of a lot more work to do. Now, my levels wades through a lot of crap a lot of times and still will take damage here or there that wakes him up a bit. And likewise, if you're doing that, you'll probably end up dropping Umbral Vitality, so the health max you have comes down. You're missing out on one of these two arcanes, so your utility comes down. I look at all the costs and I'm like, what mission am I going into that requires this amount of work to survive? At that point, you start to wonder if you could just maybe go a different route entirely. Also, it's basically EXA. I have no idea what we were referencing there, sorry. Clashwood said, can you ask what you said you replaced Piercing Roar with in the No Umbra former build? It's not replace Piercing Roar. That's part of the Roar setup. It allows you to recast this straight away, no downtime on Roar, so that's kind of a crucial thing. Otherwise, you're on a 10-second cooldown each time. And because I put it over 3, I don't have cooldown reduction. If you're not using Roar, well, then you're using a different build, aren't you? Which build are you using? Or are you designing your own? Because if you're designing your own, then now you've got your own capacity issues to figure out. Oops, I switched build. I can only help you with the builds that I created for you. If you start doing other stuff, well, I can't see what you're looking at. Oh, I see what you're saying there, Laura. Yeah, so for the Elite Archimedes, that's where the damage can be over much for the types of Lavos. I get you on that, yeah. And that's probably where I'd suggest focusing more on the control of the circumstance. Because Lavos is able to put out radiation procs and cold procs to control the mission more. And otherwise lean into your operator. I think taking away layers of defense to add on one-shot protection at the cost of an arcane slot as well is probably more expensive and less workable than just using more of your kit. Use the control, use your operator, use your allies. If you're not up against a one-shot circumstance, then you're just up against a DPS circumstance, and Persistence will give you, on a 2000 health Lavos, if you're getting that far in that build, 4 seconds. And 4 seconds sounds like a lot, if you consider reaction times or whatnot, but there are plenty of circumstances where 4 seconds can be enough to just... You're out, bud. I wouldn't phrase it like that, Birre, but yes, you can indeed have meat shields on your team, yes. Meat shields are a legitimate form of survival. We usually call them fellow players, friends even. Yeah. Do we know if Powerless affects Persistence? That's a very good question. I have no idea on that. Because Powerless does stop you from casting. Does it count as being nullified?
The indifference lurks where you dare not look. The hidden past.
I don't know idea on that one. Alright, we're drawing out a Warframe. Okay, wow. First stage is just a Warframe. Okay then.
Ops has identified one of Galastra's commandeered primes. Draw them out and neutralize them. Here it comes. Put them in the ground.
Didn't mean to sail past them that far, but it's fine.
Deploy a Warframe. A commandeered prime or one of the insane ones. I don't care.
Thank you for letting me charge on your head. Now die. Alright, we'll save that Latum Incarnate charge for the next Warframe, because it's very effective at taking them down. Certainly with the buff super that I give it.
Got airdrops inbound to resupply those turrets. Establish a perimeter and keep those soul-damned anarchs out.
Yep, perimeter established. Oh, I've given raw buff to the Battalists. Nice. Not sure it's going to be very consequential, but they have it. How is it that we're airdropping the materials for the guns, the ammo, inside the cave, but the turrets are outside the cave. That's not how airdrops work. Oh yeah, the Latum is definitely one of the most powerful weapons you can easily access here. It's kind of wild that the Latum has retained its position all this time. Because it came out with Jaya, didn't it? I'm fairly certain I'm accurate on that. But we're up to Jaya Prime now, which means, were it eligible, we could be on a Latum Prime by this point. That's how old the Latum is now, and it still holds up incredibly. For all the power creep that has existed, Latum still rocks. To be honest, I'm okay with that. I don't know that we want the Latum to fall off. That attenuation moment. Alright, let's grab these battery components as they spawn in. Yoink. Oh, hi there. And there's the components for the second battery. That was easy. Ta-da!
Uplink! This changes everything. Get to the next rendezvous point.
Robots destroy. Say, in my own testing, most forms of damage reduction apply after persistence. Does it sting? That doesn't sound right. What damage reduction features do you believe are applying after persistence? Because bearing in mind, by what you're describing there, if adaptation were, so if, for example, you would lose at most 50 hit points per second. For anything that adaptation was able to tank against, that is. You add on armor, and you could get that down to 5 hit points per second, which is bonkers considering the amount of heal I can get from Grace. So I'm not sure those would apply. So which ones are you saying do apply?
So many ways to kill you, traitor.
Go.
Array dismantled. They're shooting blind. Push forward.
Alright then. I'm assuming I'm allowed to push other buttons as well, but I will keep pushing the forwards one. The Eclipse and outside sources apply after. We can certainly give that a try after this mission.
Scanners. Find them and scrap them.
That should be easy enough to test and verify. Yep. Next.
Those nosy bastards are about to get a nasty surprise. Move.
I've killed.
You tested that last night? Okay. It is possible for Pablo to state one thing, Compton, and have the game implement another. Bugs exist. It does mean that if we do find that persistence doesn't work as it listed and intended, it'll almost certainly get fixed. And then I'll get yet more complaints sent to me of, oh, Engineer, don't point out these things, because then we can't enjoy abusing them. How do you think you learnt about it?
Attention! Got an allied transport moving in. Do not let it reinforce the enemy.
Those Warframes are all that make you special. See how you fare against
I think there's a
one.
little bit more to me than just a Warframe, but, you know, fair enough. Gonna be mean about it.
Transport is scrap. There'll be no relief for the Anarchs today. Now make it count. Next objective.
Let's move to the next location. What's my record for orders completed in Imperator? I think I got like a 13 at one point.
Tano, help
I
needed.
think,
I can
but
take it.
definitely at
Bring
least a
home.
12. Don't think I pulled off a 14 run. All those lot. Need to deal with that mine. And then deal with this. There we go. That should be good. Vault speed work on this? Yes, it does. However, I'm not playing as Vault and have no intention of switching. It is what it is. Shooting at me with such explosive rounds. Where are you? Who is the one that is using a smoke grenade on my face?
It's trying. I'll give it that.
Alright. Minefield time! Let's start working on these. Now these mines unfortunately can detect me when I'm invisible. Just have to carefully do this. By carefully I mean I'm rolling up to every single one of them at maximum velocity. Bam! Nailed it.
Dax used to deal with minefields by sending Grenier in. Disposable, you see. Next objective.
What weapon are we missing? I mean quite a few. In terms of weapon styles and types, there are plenty that can still be added. There's melee variants that could be added. There's certain types of guns where the options are limited, if it's all present. I'm more curious what ones stand out to individuals. Energy cores located. Located 2 at once is curious, but we'll take it. Please don't go this way. The batteries aren't this way. Here's the next battery.
I want fire. I want fury. Let a Warframe take the field.
Alright then, hello there. Volt Prime. Recharge. There we go. And that should be enough to charge it up. Alright then.
Friend needed for fight. Then I'll help all Hive Kit.
Next location over this way. We're at 9 orders completed. We'll probably get 11 if I'm lucky on the next orders. If we get a long one like the... oh, I didn't see that gem. If we get a long one, then it won't be so good. This is a short one. So the best way of doing this is to just basically activate them both. Just so we're not waiting for them to drop in. And here we go. Probably shouldn't be using later for that, but they are somewhat tanky units. They deserve the extra hit. Where's the next location? This way, 700 meters. Going to be tough to both get there and complete the objective. Yeah, there are a lot of the Anarchs that, as they perish, they go, I want mine! And it's whatever the last word is, it gets garbled. Family, brothers, mother, pension. Who knows what last word it really is. Ah, supply caches, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I'll do the best I can, but even a little bit of a slowdown can make it where this doesn't work. Actually, I might have this one. Well, that is nice. Yeah, we got it. Sweet. 11 orders executed. Sadly, we're a little too slow on getting to the next one, so we won't get the next Warframe to spawn. It's only 100 meters away, maybe? If I'm really, really lucky. Eliminate Anarchs. I'm not in an open area, so there's no physical dropship. No, no time. Damn!
The dread of Tau takes shape. The Hunhullus is upon you.
Yep, Hunhullus time. Right, let's see. Take out that. Have some jump points, please. There's a jump point. Oh, come on. That should have hit the chest plate. I think it's the chest plate that's left to break. Did not? No. Oh, I hadn't done enough damage to shoot the chest plate. Yeah, that's where it was. There we go. There we go. And then into this stage, I really don't like the White House rings, but whatever. It then does its weird charging thing. It shoots it and deal 1/3 of its max health, and it's dead.
Your past is once again
There we go then.
your own. Bravely done, Tenno. Rest now.
Very, very nice. Okay, so let's have a look at that persistence claim. Let's have a gander at that, shall we? In terms of the best way to test this,
where would the sanctuary be without you?
let's think then. What would be the way to test this? I think... So one of the suggestions was Eclipse. So let's just grab straight up Mirage. Because Mirage will give us Eclipse. Well then, let's see. What I need is something that is safe enough to break. Yeah, we'll just take those off. And then we want an armor bonus, which will go with... Will Guardian be enough? Well, yeah, Guardian should be enough as is, as long as we don't have a heat block on us. And then Persistence. That should work. And then it's a case of just make sure we have enough health. I'm just going to really f up this build for now. So, if this works as it was described to us, if it works, then a 90% damage reduction should mean we could lose no more than 50 health per second as soon as Arcane Guardian triggers. Which granted only has a 15% chance, but yeah. If it doesn't work that way, then I'll be dead in a second. Very easy verification. Comments saying it could also stand a health or to health conversion too. You know what? That's actually going to be much better, yes. Well... Yes, up until I've then taken a hit, and then 3 seconds later our armor drops down a bit. No, it should still be fine enough. Should be fine enough. If we do that, we can then also do Blessing, and we'll have plenty more health. So we'll be able to better see what's going on. That should work out for us. Should be the operative word. Alright, let's give that a try, and we'll unequip our companion's defensive there. Okay. Stack us up. Beautiful. Might as well get some energy whilst we're at it. And then let's go with bombards. They do strong, heavy hits, so we should be able to see the chunk, chunk, chunk coming out of it. That doesn't look very good. That doesn't look very good, does it? Let's bring that into a video editor real quick. I'm fairly certain the suggestion called out Eclipse there. Let's scroll up, see if I can find where that was again. Yeah, Robot Destroyer is saying that's essentially what it is. I think ARM replies before persistence, but things like Eclipse or outside sources apply after. Right. Let's just grab a video editor, scroll past everything else. Okay. With the Baroque build is separate. They said they were also testing with Baroque later on, but that was a separate comment. And a reply to you directly, Queen. They said things like Eclipse. So if Eclipse works, we should see that. Otherwise, why would they say things like Eclipse, you know? If someone wants to make claims, they better not include incorrect claims in the process, because otherwise how are we to know the difference between correct and incorrect? Uncle Dada's saying, do we know how much damage one of those rockets does? That's almost irrelevant, actually, because it's not protection per shot, it's protection per second. That's what's relevant. Let's see, we're on the 18th, yep, so this is the file. Yeah, we go through the whole setup. Get rid of the background voice. Bring in the bits and pieces. So, from the moment I take the first hit, let's count it out from there, the effect. We see first hit come in, and I only take a small portion of damage. We see we drop from 1500 to 1441. So whatever defenses are involved has certainly tanked a fair amount of damage. And we can see that Worm there, its shields get evaporated. 2,100 shields turns into nothing instantly. Now let's imagine for a moment that 2,100 was the damage dealt. If we got a 90% damage reduction on there, which is what we've got from Eclipse, and then we've got the damage reduction from armor. We've got 1,350 from the health conversion, plus whatever we add on the base, so stuff like 100 odd. It comes out to about 1,500 armor. And 1,500 armor gives you 83.3% damage reduction. So that plus the 90% from there. Our shields have an 850% DR haptic simulator. I don't know if that applies to companions or not. Not certain. The point is, the damage reduction I was wielding on my health there should be in the order of 98.3%. So if I still took 59 damage, that would suggest that the damage of the shot was 3,539. So we're looking in that ballpark of damage. But here's the crucial thing to check. It is at 31:02:29, so it's 29 frames after 2 seconds. That is where I take that first bit of damage. So in 1 second, from 228 to 328, how much damage do I take? Well, as it so happens, nothing else shot me in that moment. So that was unfortunate. But that's why we stood there longer. Here we go. So we got another hit come in. The shield gate on Warframe still hasn't run out. We're now taking a hit at 440. All the buffs are still active. Let's go through to 540. See how we're doing. I appear to have taken a chunk of damage. How much was that? We were on 1441. And we dropped down to 1146. Still not hit that 500 hit point loss threshold, but it's certainly a lot more than 50 or anything less. And we see another chunk come off. Interesting value now I look at it. So we are 606, 1146. And then by 706, yes, 56 there. We seem to lose, what's that, 390? I think this one's hard to tell because we just have that much overall tank. Let's see, we lose the next hit from here. There we go. At 704, we come down to 678. So it's 756 at 703. What is it at 803? Again, we've taken more than 90% reduced damage, but no, still holding on. Armor did drop to 2-stack. Whilst the armor dropped to 2-stack, we're still well over the threshold, and we can see no heat procs on here because these guys don't do heat procs. I'll be quite honest, I think I actively just tanked that. I did say earlier that it was irrelevant how much damage they deal, but I kind of need to know how much damage they deal now. Can we reasonably measure how much damage they deal? It doesn't look like consistent drops. Maybe, actually, no. Hard to say. Test with Overguard, EE log. So EE log would give us the damage received rather than damage dealt, if I recall correctly. So it doesn't account for, it doesn't show us the damage before damage reduction. But Kals is right with Overguard. Overguard should be the cleanest measure. Emphasis on the should. Just get rid of these lot before they make a lot of noise. That'll do. Very right, Dark Part. We don't really have much in the way of spears in Warframe, do we? No. Alright, let's grab us a good old Rhino Prime. And you know what? I'm actually going to take off my companion. Just so no missiles target hit. We want everything to focus on us. Let's have just one of these, actually. Bait all those rockets to hit the panel. Okay. Ow. Okay, no, one got around. Yeah, let's just grab a single bombard here and see how that adds up. Okay, that should give us our values. Is the Eden not a spear? Good question. What does that come under? No, that's not a spear, no. It comes into the polearm category, but yeah. The blade on that's not typical of a spear, is my understanding. Spear is much more of a spike on the end rather than a blade. This is closer to a halberd, I'd have said. I wouldn't really call it a spear. It's very similar in design, but not quite. Unless you use the other end. Well, I suppose, yeah, you could try and use the other end of it, but we don't have the stance for that, do we? Yeah. There is an issue of some weapons being used, dare I say, inappropriately. And I think the bayonet is a brilliant example of this. Brilliant, bad example, I should say. Because a bayonet is very pointy. A bayonet is very stabby. A bayonet is basically a spear on a gun. Okay? So why, when we're attacking with it, do we do that? When you've got a stabby, you don't swing it around. This is my #1 issue with the bayonet weapon. If it's supposed to be a bayonet, can we use it like a goddamn bayonet? We have a few stabs. I don't know what this left side stab is at the start. We go whoop whoop. Is this some kind of feint? There's a very weird feint at the start of this forward attacking combo. And then onto the second move. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing with it there. We've got plenty of overall stabbing on it. It's a very flashy way of it, but there are still some weird moves on it. But holding onto it without moving, one of these attacks is a stab. Precisely one of these attacks stabs with a goddamn stabbing weapon. That doesn't seem right to me. Let's see, what about on blocking? I had no idea it did that. Okay, shoot and slam. Neither of these are the attack I expected with a bayonet. Okay then. And forward blocking combo. What in the gravity-defying bullshit? I'm sorry, what? Okay. Sure. At least we're hitting the ground with the correct end this time, but... Yeah. There is some definite variation in these attacks, and whilst they get a A for creativity, this still remains... Sorry, no, this one still remains the most egregious of all the attacks, and considering this is the just neutral attack, I'm just like... This is not a bayonet. Where is my stabby? Where is the grab it with both hands and just charge at them attack? A literal bayonet charge. We've got this, but that's one-handed. And then follow it through into whatever that is. Yeah. What is the heavy attack with this thing? I have to force hold it to heavy attack. Because if I just have it out, if I swing... Oh yeah, I need to have swung with it first and then I can heavy attack with it. So the second attack in it actually goes for a forward lunge. Okay, right. I'm getting a little bit off track here. Jellyfish, thank you very much there for dropping your tier 1 sub once again up onto 15 months there. Much appreciated. Cheers. Might it be for practical reasons? On Kotaro, if we wanted to use a weapon to be practical, we wouldn't be doing a bayonet charge. But even if we wanted to deal with practicalities of it, instead of having a tiny spike of an attack, we could lunge forwards, but hit things in a forward cone. And that would work. Because there are a number of melee attacks which seem to not even properly touch the enemy, and still hit them. In fact, the same is true with weapons like the goddamn Alternox. You want to see how much we don't need to hit an enemy to hit an enemy? Here is a bombard. Here is empty space next to the bombard. How did I hit the bombard? Let me try that again. Yep, I'm hitting it right there. That is hitting the bombard. Reticle's not even touching them. Hit. So if we can do that with a gun, we can do that with a melee. Also, yes, Queen, that would be an interesting use of the bayonet. You lunge forward, stab the enemy, and then pull the trigger. Bam! That would be effective. That could make for a visceral attack. Especially if you imagine some of the crunchier sounds that could come with it. From Chappy Puppy, hey Kenjir, I'm kind of a new player, and I've heard a few things about using Mark 1 Furious over Regulus Furious for Incarnon. Is that true? Couldn't find much on Google. I'm not too familiar with the exactitudes there, but I do know that there are some suggestions to do that because of the Incarnon bonuses. Let's have a look here. Furious, Mark 1 Furious versus Furious. Let me just equip one and then the other. Ooh. That's going to need to do some serious work. Okay. So the reason someone might be suggesting that to you is because when it comes to the Furious Incarnon Genesis, the bonuses that you can pick for various weapons change based on the power of that weapon within its category. So the Mark 1 Furious is weaker and therefore gets stronger bonuses. Look at this, the base stats ain't so great. I don't know how that affects the Incarnon stats. Let's see here, on the wiki, base Incarnon for the Furious has total damage 100. Base Incarnon for the Mark 1 has total damage only 60. So that even when you get the Incarnon Genesis and it increases base damage by 28 or 34 for standard versus Mark 1, the standard still comes out ahead there. Likewise, Evolution 3 has no split benefits. Evolution 4, status chance is 28% Furious, 39% Mark 1 Furious. Let's see here, status chance is 24% Mark 1, it is only 8% on the Incarnon. No, you're being misadvised. You're being misadvised. As much as Mark 1 Furious has higher bonuses listed on the Incarnon Genesis, it's because it's making up for much worse stats on the base weapon. There are some weapons, some instances where it is smarter to use a downgraded version, but those instances are few and far between, and that is not one of them. You've been misinformed. Yeah, stat sticks were a big one for it, absolutely. You're very right there, Alsu, and stat sticks just aren't a thing, so yeah. That is out. You've heard it has a lower status chance so it can proc heat procs more. Oh, Jesus. Who the hell were you speaking to? Sorry. Chappy, I'm actually genuinely curious if you could get hold of whoever gave you this information and have them explain to me their thought process as to how less status means more heat status. We specifically trained him wrong as a joke. Oh boy. That one guy on Reddit, look. I've seen that one guy on Reddit. Actually came across one just the other day at a local subreddit for my city. Suffice to say that with the kind of stuff they were spouting, their account on Reddit is now suspended. There are crazy people out there. Yes. Does it affect the ratios in the status tooltips? So I've been stupid. Not stupid at all there, Last Month. Not stupid at all. And sure, if you have a different weighting of the damage, that would work. Problem is, the Furious Incarnate form is 100% heat. 100%. So, how are you going to get more heat status out of less status chance when you're going from totally heat to totally heat? Doesn't work out. Yeah, there are instances where a apparently incorrect build will be better off, and the typical one for that is downranked 60/60 virals. Do I have an example to hand? Probably on the Fullman. Okay, so this is an example of me not doing it, but it is... actually, is it? It kind of is. So let's see, do I have one where I actually utilize it? Kind of? So imagine that the cold was the bit that I wanted here. You can see at the moment I've got a cold rate of 14.1%. I can probably get that higher. Let's make that higher. I've got a cold rate here of 20.7%. And I've got these 60/60 mods giving me status chance. If I were to downrank them, that is to use unranked versions of thermite rounds. I don't have an unranked high voltage. I guess that is an expensive mod. But I have an unranked thermite rounds. So we see 20.7 cold. I pop that in. It's now 18.7. So in this case, using the unranked mod is actually a negative for me. I'm not only getting lower status, I'm getting lower cold. So it's a bad idea. But if I were to then throw in a status chance mod... Let's do it there. I'm just going to completely destroy this build. I don't care for it. So having done that, we see same kind of elemental setup. Cold is currently at 29.2%. If I go thermite rounds downgrade now, cold is at 28.3. It still doesn't work out. Never mind, cold. We tried our best for you. Yeah. There are circumstances where that works out. Apparently this is not one of them. At least just looking at this at a glance. Not sure why. I'll be quite honest with you, looking at this, but yeah. You get less chance of radiation. Well, it's not so much you want less chance of radiation, you want more chance of the good stuff. It doesn't matter how much less the rest of it is, you want the main stuff more. Because if I had 500% radiation here and still had 28.3 cold, then I'd still be dealing 28.3 cold. That's that. Thoughts on Psychic Prime? I actually haven't looked into that weapon as yet. That is on my to-do list. That is definitely on my to-do list. Are there any reasons to do this anymore, either Evanson/nerf? Well, I mean, you can still focus on a damaging type. Because if you don't need more viral, applying more viral is a waste. So, say your weapon could get an enemy to 10 viral procs by the time you've got a quarter of their health down. Any more viral procs in the entire rest of that health bar is doing nothing for you. Hell, even the last viral proc is doing very little, when it could be something damaging instead. So that is the use case there. But it all gets a little bit min-maxy, and I'll be honest, most of the time it's not really going to matter. The main focus in Warframe is, did you kill them? Was it quick? If you've hit both of those circumstances, you're probably good. It's why some of this leads to people coming out with some crazy ideas, is because they try a crazy idea, they go into the mission, they kill the stuff, they go, oh, I guess my crazy idea worked. Like, no. The rest of your build worked. Your crazy idea was making it worse, but it only made it 20% worse. When the enemy is at 1,000% dead, taking 20% off that is fine. Certainly happens quite a bit in build theory crafting, for those who aren't checking what they're doing. And then I have to pick up the pieces and teach people correctly. It's fun. Okay, I've been distracted 5 ways to Sunday on my distraction, but let's grab that video I recorded. This is going to give us the damage being dealt by the bombard. Okay, there we go. So, we've got the overguard set up. Now, let's see. So, 10,810 minus 7196. I took 3,614 damage. Do it again. There we go. So 7196 minus 3582, 3,614 damage, and then the next one takes out the overguard because it's just a little bit too low to fully resist it. There we go. Yeah. Oh wow, those marks do go everywhere. Oh, it's like a diamond player scoring a goal in Rocket League. Look at that. All right then. Yeah, 3,614 damage per shot from a level 200 bombard as measured there. Now, if we're running that through a damage reduction from armor of like 83% in the first place, just run that through. That's already down to 603 damage. If that indeed is the armor we have. Interesting. Interesting. So it was this one I'd screwed up. Yeah. So we got health conversion here for 1350 armor on top of the 185 armor. That is 1535 armor. 1535 divided by 1835, 83.65% damage reduction. So if I do the numbers now, so I should be taking 590 damage per shot before I activate Eclipse. But of course, with Arcane Persistence, that should just bring it down to a flat 500. Should, being the operative word here. Let's see if that works before I use Eclipse. Because if that doesn't work the way I'm currently measuring it, then something else is going on, and I need to find out what. So do I take 500 damage per shot? Yes. Yes, I don't need the other one to kill me. Dodged. Okay, that's good. That's good. So we know that much so far. So now we apply the Eclipse to it. Unpause the AI. Do I still take 500 damage per shot? No. But the reason on that is that we are now tanking it all that much harder. We're bringing the damage down by basically another 50%. Sorry, 90%. Is he done? Okay, I think he's done. So these guys aren't going to do enough to tax that. What we need is something that would be like 5,000 damage after the armor. They aren't going to do that. I think I'm going to need to ask for help from the audience on this one. Mirrorlabe, if you're free, doesn't have to be you. Actually, it could be anyone. First come, first serve. Mirrorlabe I usually offer it to, but first come, first serve. I need someone to absolutely obliterate my face with a single shotgun shot. Or a single shot, no multi-shot, single shot. So it's either like a Arcaplasmor, Fullman, something along that line. Needs to be not multi-shot, single powerful shot. If you could do that, then send me a message in game, the Kengineer. I'll take the first person who can show a build that looks like it'll one-shot me. Single big bad bomber. Who the heck is very much incorrect. That has a lot of multi-shot on it. Nice suggestion, completely wrong. Let's see, who's gonna send over the build first? Exurgis fit? Probably, again, just make sure it's got a multi-shot of 1.0. Acuity mod for shotguns? Doesn't work. Lagging behind a bit. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, let this be a nice midstream reminder to everyone that if you are watching on Twitch, which is 100% of you, Twitch will consistently slow you down. You will fall out of sync. So to make sure you're within sync within a few seconds, hit the refresh. Every now and then, like every hour or so, hit a refresh. Alright, the code basis, let's have a ganders at what we're looking at there. Oh wow, there's a couple mods going. Oh, that must have been the multi-shot. Let's see. Now, with the damage reduction from armor... Nope, not enough damage. That's not enough damage. Next. Vex's Prime. What we got here? Granted, that's got guaranteed crits into 7 times. Going to bring us up to 20k odd. I'm assuming that's counted into the numbers there. I don't think that's enough damage. Let's see, exactly how much damage am I going to need here? I need 500 divided by, sorry, times 10, and then divided by 1 minus the that. No, we need to go a little bit higher than 20k. We're looking at least 30k. Nope. What do we got here then? That's looking... That's enough! There we go. Yep, that's enough to absolutely hit every time. Splendid. Dovami, you have succeeded. There we go. That... The person bringing pleasure and pain. No comment. Let's just get shot. And out of respect here, that would not have been enough. Did not deliver invitation to Dovami. Warframe, you sure about that? Okie dokie, right. Dovami, you are definitely going to have enough damage. We don't need to worry about headshots trigger or whatnot, because I don't know that Warframes can actually properly get headshot. Fun fact. Please remove your companion so it does not murder either of us. This is where we discover the stream delay that Dovami is struggling with. Evidently not too much, thankfully. And just to initially test to make sure you can do plenty of damage to me. You don't have to enable PvP? You don't. I do. There we go. Please shoot me once. Okay, and then the blast proc took a little bit more damage off. That's fine. Let's re-up that. Excellent. We're just going to do that a couple more times just to be certain of the consistency. 2 more shots, please. Wonderful. What is your fire rate on that build? Is it more than 1 per second? Oh, that's very close. Can you double check in the arsenal? What is your fire rate? Is it more or less than 1 per second? Don't worry about it, Joker. If you've had yourself a rough day, you can relax here. No trouble whatsoever. 1.17? Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, hold down the fire button to shoot me twice, please. Ah, beautiful. Oh no, no, wait! I'm electric procs. They're gonna get you every time. So yeah, that actually points out a very serious weakness. You can only take so much damage per second, and damaging procs hit you every second. That is a serious weakness in the persistent setup. Can I have some more health, please? 708 is incorrect. Hello, game. Well, I'm broke. Look, a random weapon. That should reset it. There we go. Right then. So, I'm now going to activate this. Please go ahead and shoot me. So I'm fairly certain that shouldn't have happened. Let's just, you know, switch build and switch back, because that's probably a simulacrum buggerino right there. Okay then, dopamine, let's try that. Wait. So, my use of the word wait. Okay, defenses are active. Go ahead. $500 damage. Interesting. It's almost as if that is the damage per second cap written on it, and Eclipse is not in fact buffing me against it. But let's just verify again. Go right ahead and shoot me one more time, please. Oh, no, look again! Heal through it, heal through it, heal through it. Okay, I'm good. So there we go. That is definitely showing... Oh, hello. Thank you. That is definitely showing that despite activating Eclipse, I was still taking well more damage, and the damage reduction was all being calculated before Persistence was limiting it. Because if it's calculated after, Persistence would drop it down to 500 damage, and then I'd reduce that again. And yes, this health conversion effect is very cheesy, isn't it? It is very cheesy. It took me a while in some videos to realize what people were meaning when they're asking, what is that cheese? I'm like, it's not cheese, I'm just doing a normal build. Nope, no, it's cheese. People say also the persistence into death is not a sim bug. Oh, fun. Didn't Pablo tweet that's how it works? Yep, Pablo did, but then someone said they tested this yesterday and it didn't work that way. It was Robot Destroyer said this. And then that's not how it's gone. And it looks like Robot Destroyer is with us right now. So, let's think then. What other suggestions? There was... taking it with Baruch. Let's have a look. He's stuck in an ad? Not right now, he ain't. Here's the thing with Baruch. From their description, I quote from what they said to Queen. Yeah, I was using Baruch to see just how far I could take it. Pump enough damage reduction in, and you can seemingly become invulnerable so long as your abilities aren't disabled or magnetic gets applied. Fun fact, if you pump enough damage reduction, you don't need persistence because you just tanked it. And that is what we're going to verify here. So let's see, do I have a build that I don't care about? This build I don't care about. Whatever it is, it's dead. Don't care about it, it's gone. Okay, even that's gone. Let's grab persistence. Let's grab Blessing, and let's grab Health Conversion. There we go. And then the damage reduction we get from a Desolate Hands, was it? Yeah, Desolate Hands is per dagger. This is 8 charges. Let's give more to that. Is it Strength for more charges? It is. Good. Okay. So that should give us 90% damage reduction. I think. Was it 5 per dagger or 10 per dagger? Oh, bollocks. I should know this. I really should know this. Ah, desolate hands. Arsenal list and damage reduction maximum daggers. Arsenal. Oh, so it does. I was looking for a percent. I don't read damage reduction 90 and expect it to mean damage reduction 90%. I didn't see a percent, and so I just glossed over it. Sure, okay. Okay. There we... Why did it stop? Why did it? This is insufficient! Thank you. We're going to assume that's not real. Despite the 6 cheese pizza I have become, we're going to assume that's not real. I'm going to stand a bit further back from Dovamine so I don't hit you with the daggers. Because that would kill you. Please go ahead and shoot me. Well, that was 500 damage. Go ahead and do it again. Yep, still definitely 500. It seems to me that this is definitely hitting that 500 damage full on. And for one more for good measure. Yeah, it is indeed hitting me fully like that. Now, curiously, I noticed this 500 from Arcane Persistence never changes on the UI. I figured that if they're going to put it on the UI like that, they would have the number update to show how much more damage you can take in a second, but I guess that's not how they want to do it. No. Also saying, interesting, electric procs seem to use the weapon damage normally, but blast procs only use the damage taken. Not necessarily. It could be they just don't have the modding for the blast procs to do enough. Because don't forget, I still have got a whole bunch of damage resistance. Blast proc on its own will deal 30% of weapon damage with no bonus from elementals, whereas electric will deal 50% plus, or sorry, multiplied by the elemental bonuses from electric modding. And it looks like they've got the blast innate on the weapon, but electric from modding, or electric from their, what's it called? Janitor. Yeah, we're not going to go for additional damage reduction here, Zom, because we've already demonstrated what's happening. Which is that despite the claims of either Desolate Hands or Eclipse applying after Arcane Persistence, that's absolutely not happening. Yeah. So yeah, Robot Destroyer, honestly, you probably ran into the same issue I did with the Bombards there, you just didn't realize you'd run into the issue. I thought the Bombard would have been doing enough damage for just a Armor Eclipse Mirage to suffer, but it turns out no, Armor and Eclipse Mirage is enough to tank the fuck out of those guys. All those instances of people saying that health tank isn't viable, the answer is they just haven't been health tanking hard enough, to be quite honest with you. Have we tested damage redirection yet? I'm not going to test it, no. That's far enough for me to be satisfied that Pablo and his team have actually done what they said they were going to do. Good to test, but yeah, that seems pretty damn conclusive to me. So, Dovamine, thank you very much for bringing in a weapon that was decidedly very, very powerful. That is a nasty piece of work you got there. Cheers indeed. Yeah, sorry, Miralabe, you missed out on the opportunity to shoot me on stream. Ah, whatever will you do? It's alright, Robot Destroyer. I do prefer if people can thoroughly test the claims before sharing, but at the very least you did test, you just unfortunately tested wrong. Yeah, it is a very difficult part of testing things in this game. It's why I spend so much time when it comes to testing various aspects of it, is because you can't trust the arsenal, you can't trust how mods are written, you can't trust the UI a lot of the time. You have to really, really get into the nitty-gritty details to find out what is truly going on. And only once you've controlled for those details can you then be certain what you're looking at. And in that case there, stacking the armor, minimum armor of 1500, and stacking on the damage reduction 90% from an ability, 98.3% damage reduction is a fuck ton. To take 500 health damage in a single shot then is a lot. I'm just saying one of the more interesting persistence builds I saw was Chroma, using Hunter Adrenaline and Gloom to keep it up indefinitely. Yeah, I can see that working. Like I said earlier, if you can get the healing going, you're good. It is the moment that you fail that healing, you're on a timer. You're on a timer of just a couple seconds. The more health you have, the more of a timer you have, and that is ultimately what it comes down to. If a heat prop brings you below the armor threshold, you're fucked, so you need to stay up. If a magnetic proc hits you, it turns off, you die. Whereas health tanking, by and large, just works. Which is good. As it also makes Nidus 300 stack not useless. This is true, yeah. That augment previously, if I recall, turned off the... oh, they put a timer on it, I think it was. Hello, Logren. All good, Robot Destroyer. All good. If nothing else, thank you for sticking around long enough to not only see the results of the test, but then also acknowledge the mistake. We do get people come through here from time to time, they'll make the most incredulous of claims, and then they just swan it off into the ether. It's like... bruh. I'm not exactly a paid QA tester here. But let's see, with Nidus, it was... that's the one. Not even ranked it up, tells you how much I think of it. Yeah, you gain a max stack increase of 200, but Undying goes onto a 30-second cooldown. So if you be killed again in those 30 seconds, it's just over. It's just over. Now, of course, if you don't die in those 30 seconds, you're fine. Let's face it, there is a 200-second cooldown on the same passive effect in the circuit for everyone once you got your your drifter up to that level. And so long as the rest of your tank is good, it is basically just one-shot protection. But Nidus does seem to rely a little bit more on that abundant mutation, or rather that passive mutation. Those stacks. Yeah. No shield gate. No other major protection, and not a crazy amount of defenses in general. Not a crazy amount. Some way somehow you'll get over onto out-heal the damage. I mean, it's possible. Can't say it'll be a good build, but it is possible. Valkyrie Persistence feels comfy. I mean, I can see it. At the same time, I'd have to wonder, like, you've already got a passive immortality, and you've got healing off of your claws, and you've got built-in armor buffing, which double buffs and can buff. I have to wonder at that point how much it's doing for you, but if it's doing, it's doing. That is one of the amazing qualities of Warframe, is that you don't have to have hyper-optimized builds, you just need to have good ones. Level cap, it makes it feel safe? Okay, level cap is its own thing. And fair enough, yeah, you and a handful of other players do indeed enjoy going to level cap or care to build for level cap. I don't build for level cap because there is nothing there for me of interest. This is something I've stated and restated and will continue to restate because by and large, not only does level cap not have any actual content other than numbers go burr, by building for level cap, that build is now weaker in every other form of content. In the simple case of Arcane Persistence, if you're equipping Arcane Persistence, you are not equipping a different Arcane. And this is perhaps the simplest and most effective demonstration of this opportunity cost I can show to you. Now, if we look at Lavos, if I were to put Arcane Persistence onto here, what am I removing? Am I removing Arcane Grace and my passive healing? Or am I removing Arcane Consequence and my parkour velocity, which is very good for getting around somewhere like Paris Rebellion? Or Arcane Velocity itself, which is the fire rate on pistols. I should probably switch that off for this one if I'm doing Parita. But yeah, point is, when you tank for such high level, you're missing out on something for lower level content. And when I say lower level, between level cap and the rest of Warframe, we're talking like level 400-500 content. Would never reliably need persistence to be involved. So building for such defenses, you're losing something else, and that's when it becomes a net negative as far as I'm concerned. But if you are going to level cap, then you need the tank, yeah. Build for it, make it happen. Laugh all the way to the bank when you obliterate everything. Alright, is that the weapon I want to have equipped? Yeah, why not? Right. We've tested things, we have verified things, we have learned, we have grown, we are better people. Helmet on levels, is that like illegal? Nah, not at all. It's illegal if you just put it on there without thinking about it. Because not thinking is illegal here. If you wish to zone out, make sure you have set yourself up to zone out, and then you can do so. But yeah. The helmet from that Lavos has been done with thought, and that means it's perfectly fine. Very valid there, Moose, yeah. Who's saying the reason they switched away from shield gating to health tanking on Titania? Because with their setup they could tank level 4000, so why shield gate? Exactly. This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of mellow on the whole immortality passives or shield gate immortalities. You do jump through more hoops to get there. It's undeniable in every way whatsoever. You are just jumping through more hoops. Good outcome. Whereas health tanking is very passive. You know, for the people who say that health tanking needs more to help it out, I'm over here looking at health tanking like, okay, yeah, we are using quite a few mods to get there. That is true. But in all of the content that it's available for at the moment, we just kinda stop paying attention to defense. Like, genuinely. I'm just gonna... stretch! Oh, shield gate tanks wish they could do this! Oh! Yeah, shuffle the shoulders a bit, you know. Oh, gods, I hope that click did not come through. Oh. We're just gonna keep repelling these attackers as well. Got my companion absolutely lasering the shit out of stuff. Maybe I can give it a raw buff, help it out a bit there. Oh. Oh yeah, that did some difference for it. Alright, cool, anyway. Introduces level 500 Blitz Xmas? Yeah, and that's where I have also got a shield gate. But yeah, there may be the occasional thing you might want to dodge. To the surprise of absolutely no one. Meanwhile, shield gate encounters any amount of toxin damage. Everything's got its weakness. Point being though that health tanks can get plenty done when they're used correctly. If you treat them as means to be immortal, yeah, it's not going to meet that criteria. Health tanks are not immortal. But if we don't try to force them to be immortal, we can just work with the benefits they have got. And I like my power fantasy looter shooter to not involve having to worry about death that much. I have invested, I have earned my way up to it. When death arrives, it's not because it's a day ending in a Y. If I'm going to perish, it's because something serious is happening. Hello, Ray. Welcome on in. Alright then. Prime Warframe time. Where you at? Oh, this way. Hello, Mesa. How are you doing today? Would you like to hear of our Lord and Savior later? Where reward? Huh? Did it teleport the Mesa away? Because it spawned in another Warframe. I think it teleported the Mesa away because it spawned in another Warframe, and the Mesa was on 5% health. You bastard of the game. There we go. I've never seen that before. Alright, please give me my worm back. Thank you. Moving on. Genuinely never seen that before. It straight up teleported the Warframe away from me. It was a good save, honestly. Just didn't quite work in the end. Also, forming a go there, as ever. This weapon is so beautiful. No build-up of Incarnate charge. No having to worry about aiming too precisely. I've got Dead Head on it. But that's just because it's a really comfortable arcane. Far better than Merciless. Did I switch to the mobility arcane though? I think I forgot to do that. Oops. Are we dead now? Yeah, some things are out of range in Foreman. Very rarely do they stay out of range. Also, Lavos status guarantee is very effective. Resistant Severgoth? I don't see why it wouldn't work. Severgoth can indeed generate a lot of healing through Gloom, so yeah. It's just, again, you'll need to make sure you maintain that healing. It's a different way of tanking, which is why a lot of health tanks don't really need it, because they can just hard tank the damage in the first place. Alright, let's get that started. Grab us a code. No! No, 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 no. Grab the code, you stupid Warframe.
Deploy a Warframe. A commandeered prime, or one of the insane ones.
Go, slap that in. Progress. Let's go say hello to Ash before Ash says hello to us. I didn't think that was it. Uh-oh. Ooh, that just about worked. Okay. Why are the codes so far away? I don't remember killing things all the way over here. Well. There we are.
Array dismantled. They're shooting blind. Push forward.
Moving on. The weird thing I find myself wondering with the design of Parator Rebellion is how much research did DE do into actual wars? Because I can confidently say I have absolutely zero experience with war. None. Nada. Zip. And I'm very grateful for that fact. I hope that I can reach old age, retirement, and a gentle death without ever changing my answer to how familiar I am with war. But I do wonder if the hold on people with combat experience for the design of this. Something to ask in an AMA or something, I'm sure. Push me out of range of that shit. Not this one. Hey, why do I take 0 status effects? I'm levels. That was weird. You should give Lavos a try. You absolutely should. And I am saying that 100% as the Lavos. But yes, you absolutely should. Turn that battery in. Go. Caverns next. Yeah, exactly like that quote, yeah. Exactly like Christopher Lee pointing out what it sounds like when someone gets backstabbed. Literally.
Can't let this data go to waste. Marking next objective.
Alright, it is Typhulus time.
Valder! Aegis needs Tenno! Hypkin under attack! Anarch's
Grab
drained
this.
energy! Death near! Help him now!
Start charging it up. We'll have to suffer with the Legion for a little bit. Okay. Next power core over here. Yoink. Charging continues. Oh. Incoming, okay. Let's just quickly get rid of you then, Ember. Jeez, I was not kidding about quickly. And then another energy core. There we are. Noticing certain sections are very World War 1 influenced with the open plain and trenches. Yeah, warfare and the environment has changed very much. Yeah. There's some obvious things that can be carried over. You know, the strange trench warfare, I'll be quite honest. It is very odd to see trench warfare in a sci-fi future setting like this. With such control of the air. I mean, current events are showing that trench warfare hasn't exactly died out, has it? Trying not to get too real here. I like a rage mode. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. 10 orders executed, got less than a minute. Where's the next one? This way, 350 meters. I can get there in time for some of the shortest objectives. Minefield. Ooh, that's going to be close. That is going to be close. Especially if I fuck up a mine like that. I can't see. Oh, I'm choking. 2 more mines. 10 seconds. There we go. Woo! That was uncomfortably close.
You saved lives today, Tenno. Keep going.
That was uncomfortably close. Alright. Lavos? walks.
The dread of town
What's
takes
with the
shape.
crab walk?
The Hunhullus is upon you. Your courage must not fail now.
Alright, where's the targeting spot? There it is. So for a little right up here. Hello. Charge gun. And then grab that. Up we go, please. Way away from that beam of doom. Trying to hit the chest plate. There it is. Fully charged. Leg piece. Obliterate. I'm not going to need that ammo. Might as well just launch it. Hello? You're not allowed to go invulnerable and keep attacking me for a section. That's not fair. Get to the next step. Ow. Also don't like that. I mean, I do just go invulnerable myself here, which is kind of hypocritical, but, you know. Warframe go there. I cannot see through the damage numbers. There we are. And show any evolutions after this mission? Sure thing, yeah. It's pretty much the perfect time to ask to see.
Has lost this battle.
Oh wow, I've got 16, nearly 17 million Naira focus lying around. That's cool. Alright, yeah, so with the Latham there, this is basically being powered by the secondary Innovate upgrade. Because this is absolutely stonks. On hit, increase critical chance by 10%, and that is a flat 10%, 10 points, rather than a modifier to your existing stat. And then resets after 6 big critical hits, that is orange and above. But the crazy fact on it is that it has a lag effect. If you've got a projectile weapon with travel time, which the Latham has plenty of, then you can fire a whole bunch of shots, land a whole bunch of hits, which will trigger this a whole bunch of times, whilst none of them have the crit bonus. So all of them were sub whatever. That then means that for your next volley of a whole bunch of shots, you get all of that critical scaling, and it is a lot. With that fire rate I had there, you can imagine I can fire like 40 shots out before the first one even starts hitting. That'll be then 40 triggers of this, because none of them will be orange crits, which means you'll get 400% critical chance. And then you follow it up with the crit damage go better out of it. Because 4 lots of the critical bonus being applied there is a chunk. And to further stack with that, we've got overwhelming attrition here. When a hit is neither critical nor status, get damage bonus. Now, Lavos does kind of screw this up by making a status effect happen every single time. I don't know if that actually does affect this, or if Lavos is applying it after the fact. I should probably have checked that at some point. I'm going to check that just in a moment. But for every other Warframe, that'll give you another whole bunch of damage on top. And then headshots for more charge, because you want to be an Incarnate as much as possible. Reload speed, because what are the other options? Yeah, no, never mind. And reduced recoil is nice to have, because the extra little bit of fire rate or movement speed whilst aiming doesn't really matter as much. Yeah, Crit Latham really comes online with secondary Innovate. It is stupidly good. Both just how high it gets, and the fact that you keep resetting to basically non-crit, so that that evolution perk can also kick in consistently as well. Previously you had to use, galvanized crosshairs to try and bounce above and below the crits on demand, and it just doesn't feel anywhere near as good. It's certainly nowhere near as passive to use. quickly test this effect here. You go away for a moment, please. Thank you. Hopefully this doesn't just kill them. Yeah, so Lavos is nerfing that. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, if I just kind of de-equip something just to reset the... I don't know if that actually reset Valence Formation, but let's just spawn in a new enemy anyway. And yeah, now we can see that kicking in. Overwhelming attrition. Can overwhelming attrition come from from primary weapon? Well, considering I'm only landing crits with this, I'm going to say that's not going to work. A little bit too effective. Companion? Does Companion trigger it? I guess the answer is no, but I'm willing to find out. Companion's got a lot of status. So I was never going to find out. Yeah, I'm not built to use that perk, am I? Oh dear. That is the anti-Lavos perk. That's unfortunate. Ooh, oh well. Lavos can't win all the time. This is a case of Lavos is winning too hard. Let someone else have a try. That is unfortunate. And yet, I wouldn't get rid of this Valence Formation, to be honest. Because Valence Formation here... How much elemental bonus have I currently got on the setup? I have... 165, 225, 225. So Valence Formation is giving me another roughly 60% damage increase. And then the status output is increasing by about 6-fold. And my heat bonus is increasing a bunch as well. So my status damage should be increasing by about 10-fold. Yeah, about 10 times the status damage. We're in that kind of ballpark there. Actually, no, it'd be higher. No, yeah, it's about 10-fold status damage, somewhere in that ballpark. And then when you consider that I've got an 83% raw here as standard, that is 82.8. If we got roughly 10 times status damage already, we then multiply that by 1.828 squared, the output is now 33 times. Why Hornet Strike? Just in case you don't have stacks. I mean, sounds like you answered your question at the same time there, Zom. Especially as Lavos is not generating no stacks, so yeah, that's why it's there. I think that was a holdover from the previous setup, but all the same, yeah. It still applies. Because if I didn't have that on there, and didn't have the stacks, I would be looking at, well, about a third of the damage. That's a lot to lose. Subcrim is saying you could always use the other Revolution. It only works on non-crits, something at least ring up damage for all. Honestly, it wouldn't do a lot there. I mean, this is doing nothing if I use Valence Formation. So, granted, this would be an increase. But don't forget that most of the time I don't intend to be landing non-crits anyway. The crits are where the power is at. On a setup like this, the crit effect is... Again, taking that whole 40 shots trigger. I'll be looking at... 27.8 times multiplier on the damage due to crits. Just for hitting the tier 4 crits, and that's up. But yeah, I guess the real answer there is, if I care enough to have that amount of damage, I should stop activating Valence Formation. For everyone else, everyone who's not using Valence Formation, so you're not getting guaranteed status effects on every single hit, this is just the correct one to use for that build. It is only Lavos that finds himself in that circumstance. And to be honest, did you notice an issue? I didn't. And even then, if you really need to benefit from it, you just don't Valence. Oh no. It does only last for 10 seconds, so it's not something you can flick in and out of too easily, because Valence Formation lasts for 20 seconds at base, was it? Yeah, 20 seconds at base. And you want durational levels as well, so even higher. Yeah. I think Saren does as well. Saren creates a secondary hit. I don't know if that would negatively trigger it, right? Like, de-trigger it. Let's have a quick look at that. Again, take you off. Summon Bombard. Activate Toxic Lash. And immediately I get a trigger, so that proves no. Saren's not an issue there. You get the status effect, but it's on a secondary hit. Doesn't count against you. Do the attrition stacks decay individually or separate? Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not certain. Okay, so I've got 2 stacks. Let's just have a look. Timer ticks down. Oh, no, you're right. Good catch. Good catch. It's a decaying stack. Okay. Okay, now that does turn that around a bit then, because that means this lasts for up to 30 seconds. So if you were to trigger it and then Valence Formation, and say you're on the base, no, say you're on 155% duration, so your duration is about 30 odd seconds, you would have 1200% bonus for the first 10 seconds, then 800%, then 400%, a teeny tiny bit of 0 before you can start restacking it again. That's a very good catch there, Chroma. And indeed, if you were to run a lower duration on the Lavos, you'd run into that situation less dramatically again. But you also then need to recast more, so swings and roundabouts. That is a very good catch, yeah. It is another one of my bugbears that the stacks in Warframe aren't outlined. Like, we have to test to see which one it is. It just says stacks, it doesn't say how it stacks. They didn't create a keyword, like I use decaying stacks to refer to it. That's just... Did your turbo run out? Maybe? I mean, I can see 3 badges on you here, Miralabe. I can see your VIP badge, I can see your subscriber badge, and I can see your gift sub badge. Is it that you're drawing attention to? I mean, not that you would ever sidewardly try and bring attention to things. No, not at all. Miralabe has never done that. Okay, so I think we've actually got to the end of multiple trains of thought. That's really weird. We've been juggling so many concepts at once for the last 2.5 hours. I actually just reached the end of both paragraph and section in my brain there. That was... Oh, okay. Let's go check on how close I am to the next Tectolist artifact.
We've had a few.
Apparently Lloyd has been drinking. He said we've had a few. Alright. Have you a nice day off, I suppose, you know, dude.
I pray these
Guess the guy you're butlering for isn't around. So.
Avez-vous besoin de quelque chose?
Let's see. So, quite a few Ren hypercores still needed, not to mention the electric bridges. Ascarius Prime are fine, but that's because I've been turbo dunking the Vanguard with Ash. Oh well. Work to do! Work to do! There's fast travels. Wait, does it? Oh. Oh, perfect, fast travels. Oh well. Ridiculous, thank you very much for dropping your tier 1 sub here once again up onto 11 months. Much appreciated there, Ridiculous. Much appreciated indeed. Enjoy your golden sub badge whilst you're on it, though. This is the last month you'll be seeing that one. As if you resub again, that's going to be a full bot. Looking forward to it. Alright, so I think someone earlier was asking for the Foreman build. Don't know if they're still here, but basically it's just the same kind of general Foreman approach I've always been using. Hold on. We'll come to that in a second. That's a whole essay. And you'll see it's... Actually, was I on the wrong build this bit? Oh dear. Yeah, you'll see... It's honestly not the most incredible of a setup. We've got Amalgam Serration on here so that we have enough pure damage to get the gun going before Deadhead kicks in. Deadhead kicks in quite nicely with that. Aptitude is multiplicative against those two, so it's even more powerful than it may first seem. Magnetic capacity not only gives us magnetic, which is nice to have, but also magazine capacity just means we've got 4 extra shots before having to hit the recharge, and that is just convenient to have. And then we've got a whole bunch of crit down here. Bladed rounds is on aiming to get the bonus, but you know, it's easy enough to aim with the Foreman. And Stormbringer is just nice for tying into the innate electric and turbo buffing the status output on that. So you get more damage and you get more status damage. So as much as this looks like a 6 times crit damage, it's even higher again with bladed rounds. I think that brings it up another... Hold on. 2.44 maybe? No. 2.64. That was close. So yeah, brings it up to 2.64, so you can get some pretty stonking crits out of that. This is being buffed up by my companion. Likewise, the fire rate that we lose from critical delay is being buffed up by my companion as well. And as you've seen in general use, it slaps when you turbo buff it. Lavos's weapon platform setup definitely helps on said turbo buffing. Out of curiosity, is there something I can put in here instead of fire rate on the pistols? Which, don't get me wrong, is good, but... Is there a primary benefit we'd use? So fire rate on shotgun... Sorry, fire rate on primaries, we don't really need. Could do with a wall latch, but let's not. On headshot... Bonus damage to primary weapons 24 seconds. It's additive to Deadhead, but it would work. On reload, I don't think triggers. That's basically it, yeah. Sorry, misclicked. Did you pre-write this in case I called for people to join in, Miralabe? You had a pre-written essay for if I called for people to join in, didn't you? Whole ass cover letter here. For those of you watching on mobile, or otherwise on a small screen with a poor resolution, let me assist you. Do I try a very bad accent here? You know what? No, I'm not going to get cancelled today. We'll stick with just Ken. We'll stick with Ken. Hello, the Kengineer. If you happen to have a free spot on your team and consider my skills acceptable, I would be very happy to receive an invitation. If needed and desired, I could also provide various buffs and debuffs for your team. Yours truly, Miralabe. And then, of course, Miralabe's signature on the end, which, as you should know if you're regulars here, Miralabe's signature is literally a smiley face. Oh, cool. You joke about Dear Sir, Strike Madame. I've had it less directed than this and called out Miralabe for it. Oh, yeah. Throws an invite macro. Miralabe is just that kind of prepared person. Miralabe is just the kind of person to do that. Meanwhile, you get others who are like, oh, no, just hi. Yeah, that'll do. Hello. Well done. You got there. But yeah. What other pistol bits are there? Arcane Pistol, yeah, no thank you. Arcane Awakening on reload. Yeah. That's the rest. How about secondary? I hate that some are pistol and some are secondary. Like, why is this? Hold on. Hold on. I think I've talked about this before now, but I want to bring this up a second. Is there another arcane I'm missing? I don't think there's another arcane I'm missing. What is this? Primary version, on headshot, 15% chance for plus 180% damage to primary weapons for 24 seconds. Versus, guaranteed on headshot, 300% damage for 18 seconds on secondary weapon. Never mind the fact that the details are jumbled up. Pistolier? Pistolier is something completely different, Quell. That's ammo efficiency. Now, Arcane Rage can refresh, Arcane Precision cannot refresh. What's the issue? So Arcane Precision is guaranteed to activate, Arcane Rage has a 15% chance. Arcane Precision has a 300% bonus, Arcane Rage has a 180% bonus. Why does the secondary get that much more of a bonus? That's not a little bit. This puts the difference between Hornet Strike and Celebration to shame. This is an insane difference. Oh yeah, the primary one does last for another 6 seconds and is refreshable. And that is it. 6 seconds to trade off nearly double the bonus and over 6 times the frequency of activation. It's crazy different. Oh, DE of the past. DE pre-Rebecca at the helm. What were you guys smoking? What indeed. Alright, well, seeing as Lavos is in a position to screw up the pistol damage bonus in general... Sorry, secondary damage bonus? Yeah. But that headshot... Will that headshot trigger on the Hun Hollis? Anyone way to find out? Let's go. It does, but does it trigger only on the headshot, or does it trigger on the weak point headshot? These are the questions that one is left with after playing this game for years. Secondaries used to just suck. So I'm told, although I don't recall that era. I think that was before my time. Alright then. Now despite that, I am actually just going to be maining the Foreman until we get to Warframes and the like. This Foreman is just fun to use.
You have only 12 minutes to confront
Oh, shuttle uplink. Okay.
After that,
okay. I'm going to get punished now for using a non-control frame, although this is a good spot for it. This one's a very defensible location. Which is exactly where you should be parking a shuttle during a goddamn war. Just war whacking with enemy radar. Don't mind me. Oh, I saw you there. This might be the fastest shuttle powering I've ever done. I see all that loot there. I really want to go grab the loot, but I know this is the correct place to stand to get the objective done. I just really, really... Oh, no, no, no! Want to run forwards for it. Shots coming in from long range. Yeah! Nice. Okay, that's good.
Flight logs indicate adult targets near your location. Get moving.
you're dead.
If we use the Incarnate Charge as an indication, and it works on the headshot. So Incarnate Charge does build on the weak points, if I thought. On the Hun Hollis. Could have sworn it. Yeah, it definitely does. I was doing that earlier. But even then, Incarnate Charging weak spots aren't always headshots. And things that call for headshots don't always mean headshots. It's the C and D. Remember, you cannot take what this game tells you at face value. Not in the story, not in the game mechanics. Basically never. Trust but verify, and I trust you always need to verify. Alright, so load up the turrets. We'll make this faster. And this one over here. And then Warframe should appear in 3%. 2. There it is.
My Ascaris did to one of your Warframes.
Build it.
What happened to its operator can happen to you too.
Got him. I know it's not as efficient, but sometimes shooting a ship so that it's halfway dead and letting the status proc do the rest is actually kind of satisfying. You just look off to the side knowing it's gonna die. Would primary bulwark be better for the form of my lab boss? It would be, you're right. I forgot to put that on. I should have done that. You are very, very right. Thankfully, Deadhead isn't all that much weaker, and it's very easy to activate on the Foreman. But you are right. It's gonna take a while before I get bulwark onto enough of my weapons, and then there's gonna be the inevitable problem of me leaving it equipped when I use not Lavos. I go, why is my weapon so shit? Where are my weapon stacks? Oh. It is certainly going to be one of those issues.
Would you care to face one of your former friends?
Oh, I took a lot of damage with something. That was not the time to need to recharge. Whew. We're good.
It's done. I know that wasn't pleasant, but it was necessary.
As I said, don't like the headshot multiplier that much. So, headshot multiplier 30%. So, what's that work out to? It's probably gonna be stronger overall, you're right. But that's only on headshot. On body shot, it'll be weaker. It's a trade-off. The other factor is the bulwark is just permanently available, always in effect on Lavos. Whereas Deadhead can and will run out if you're not meeting the criteria, such as if you're in a boss fight, whereupon the bosses don't regularly die to headshots, they're still alive, it's a boss fight. If you think about it, it was a real nice Christmas gift from DE, you know? I've moaned at times about stacked buffs running out if you're doing anything in a mission other than mindlessly murdering constantly. And I am also a Lavos main, constantly using this highly armored Warframe. And then for totally disconnected reasons, definitely not inspired by that whatsoever, DE introduced an arcane that doesn't need stacking, gives a shitload of damage to primary weapons, my favourite weapon type, and the only requirement is to be as armoured as I always am. I'm absolutely certain it is just a coincidence that it works out that way, but you know what, I'm not going to look that gift horse in the mouth. That is a nice, lovely Christmas gift. This time, advanced formation is not currently active, so let's... There we go. Overwhelming attrition is active. Uh-oh. 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 No! He's casting and I don't have my latent stacks ready. Oh, Warframe. There we go. So that wasn't a good demonstration because she became very dangerous to deal with, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to try and mess around with that. I'm just going to stick with advanced formation. That just works.
Your work's not done though. Get in position.
For everyone else, they can enjoy the bonus on the latent there. Just stick with what I want. 4 minutes and only 6 orders done. Not great, but we did start with the shuttle uplink. I've had a couple times once. Oops. No formation equipped. There we go. That fire rate is comical at this point. Yoink. And that one in. Order executed. Off to the next. Took a minute. Launch! There's a long distance to the next location. I think I've done like 20 seconds traveling. Oh. Well, that was convenient. Find the ground scanner that you stood on. That was easy. Head this way. What do we got? Air squads. Ooh, that's a real fast one if I do this right. Nice. Next one. That was a very clear voice line from that one. Yes, come on. Transport. We can do this quickly if I do it right. Okay. I know I said I could do that one quickly. I didn't expect to one-shot the transport. That's also the first time I've done that. Caches. Okay, we can do this in about a minute. This will get us to 11 orders completed. It's going to be tough to get us to the point of being able to fight the next Warframe though. That is going to be tough because we need to get partway through Order 11. Sorry, Order 12. We've got less than a minute left to do that. Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of it on this run. Gonna try. We might get a fast order, although I think we've done all the fast orders, sadly. Clear the minefield. Okay. We can get the Warframe to come out on this one.
Get in close and hack them to neutralize the field quickly. Or just blow them up one by one. Don't matter to me.
That summons the Warframe.
Fools think you're the only ones with Warframes? Allow me to educate you.
Mine's neutralized. You got nerves of steel.
Yes! Okay. One more mine. Can I find the mine? Can I find the mine? Oh, yeah, I found enough of them. They just blew up generally. 12 ores are executed. Nice.
You are out of time. The Hunhullus has found you.
Hello. Right, I wanted to see if those were headshots. So, let's see. Yeah, this bonus arcane precision just run out. So, let's. Oh yeah, I need to get it onto the next stage. That's not gonna do it. Actually no, I don't want to charge up. Oh gods. I don't want to hit any headshots right now. Just gonna make a lot of noise. That is unfortunate that that's gone down. There we go, right. So now we can see if this weak spot counts as a headshot for the arcane. And that looks like a no. I'm not seeing the benefit. Nope, did not trigger at all. My jump points go. There they are. But now if I do this... And yeah, I hit the headshot, immediately counted. Now can I charge this up on the chest? I was on chest plate second. Oh no, no, it's the leg over here. That does charge up the gun. So they are weak points, they count for incarnons, but they are not headshots, they don't count for the headshots arcane. Really that inaccurate? There we go. What I say is a good all-round frame these days. Honestly, a lot of frames. Most of them are very effective, but Lavos is what you'll see as a recommendation here because I am a Lavos main and Lavos is an amazing frame. It's hard to go wrong with him. Genuinely hard to go wrong with him. He doesn't have a good nuke. He's got a strong full ability, but he doesn't have a good nuke, and that's about his biggest and only weakness. There we are, mission complete. I could use Lavos in pretty much any content without issue. And so can you. Now if you want to know how to do that, you definitely want to be checking out my Lavos guys over on YouTube. The game is very different after 7 years. So different that it might as well be a different game in terms of the metas, mechanics, options available to you. Definitely go check out my YouTube channel for guides to bring you up to date on that side. Alrighty then. Or do you just got to beams this boss in Arcwing mode? Just got the tech. Honestly, it depends on what kind of tech they were bringing. Actually, yeah, just checking Mirrorlabe, because you are, after all, calling out Banshee there. Does the Banshee sonar effect persist on the Hunhullus into stage 2? I would guess that it doesn't, but you would know for certain because you certainly tried. It does. Okay, that's probably it then. Because Banshee is an absolute monster for just bypassing all kinds of protection. Also works that way on the Dax list. Good to know. From Husbuck here, so hey party people, was told to grab Latron Incarnate adapter in the coming circuit rotation. How are you modding Latron? Boom, there you are. It's an older guide, but it'll check out. I assure you of that much. Alright, let's go for a Dactylus run. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a dedicated Banshee guide at this time. Not at this time. It is one that perhaps I should consider continuing to put off, because the moment I put out a Banshee guide is the moment that Mirrorlade will feel horrendously offended that it isn't exactly as powerful as their Banshee, and we'll never see Mirrorlade again. So to avoid such a horrible circumstance, let's maybe never do a Banshee guide. How's that sound? Solid chest.
Establish a perimeter and keep those soul-damned anarchs out.
Oh, is that out of range? There we go. And for the last bit of ammo, which is being dropped on the turret I just killed, whatever. Anyone know what's up with Incubus finishes? Not something I've looked into, to be honest. That drop point is a little annoying, but it's fine. Order executed in just over a minute.
Hope you got another miracle in you.
Let's see. Oh, it's a shuttle. Oh, it's this shuttle. Look how open this area is. This is not a safe place to land a shuttle, let alone launch it from. Do the best I can to defend it, but it ain't gonna be pretty. The clock starts hitting there, okay. Yeah, no, this one is gonna be fully interrupted the whole way through. Oh, we got a little bit of double speed. I think it's double. Just for a couple seconds. I think I have a key. It died, whatever it was. I'm going to say most of the time you one-shot the weak points, body part, weak point, body part, weak point, body part. Then you transfer second phase, one shot, first hit on Hollis, you run with teammate, you don't even have to shoot the boss, your teammate knows that. Oh. That the summary on how Banshee go burr on the boss fights. It's weird when you think about it, that Banshee's massive damage scaling gets a pass, but a lot of other things seem to run up against attenuation all the same. It's a bit weird at times. Also stuff is hitting some really long range. There we go. I managed to speed it up a little bit. Oh, that's my 20th shuttle. Huh. The more you know. Ooh, nearly fucked that one up. Oh, I thought this was a minefield one. I saw a mine pop up, immediately went for hacking them out. Nope, it's this. Need to get you through there. And this one. Take out the mine. Need to hack another one. Have I run Warframe Homebrew out of that testing one shot? I mean, I didn't do just a one shot. I did a lot of testing. That Raid on Orphic Tower stream I did, that was the only live stream. No, actually, that was the second live stream. The first one was much, much earlier in the project. But yeah, I've run more of it off stream. That was entirely, well, off stream intentionally to allow those who are playtesting it with me to feel comfortable and free to just kind of play D&D without being massively observed.
You, on the other hand, need to get out into the field. Go!
The orders get into position. Where? This way? Must be this way.
Hive in trouble.
How about running them for fun? I mean, it was fun. I don't have a active group of my own at the moment. I've run them with. I'll be honest, I am moving away from D&D. I am looking to... what was it? Yeah, looking to delve more into Pathfinder. And so I have plans in our arena, but those plans need time to action. Oop. Holding this. Well, how's you asking there, Kith? One more over here. I think I missed a comment on Reberino.
Friend needed for fight. Then I'll help all Hivekin.
There you go. 1 second, I need to check a thing out. Nope, I missed whatever that was. Okay. I think Ray said something, but I missed the message. Oh, I've only done 4 orders. Why? Is this so slow? Oh no, okay, that's a little bit quicker. One down. I say one down. That was a bunch of them. It's not like we're doing the raid one. Switch back. There we go. What's your streamer? Should add some jazz music and we'll be golden. Oh, I don't think I have a jazz playlist that is stream safe, but I could look into that. Certainly good. And just a reminder as well to y'all, we will be having the platinum raffle. Oh, this is the S-Word one. We'll be having the plat raffle towards the very end of the stream, so make sure you are sticking around for that. And there will be the draw for those of you who'd filled out the survey pre-stream, because I was asking for everyone's opinions after the repo stream we did on Friday. We're going over that towards the end as well, which is in just a few minutes, basically after this mission. I see a reply from Kith on what the line of questioning was towards. Never mind. I mean stream safe? I mean as in not DMCA'd. Because here's the thing, is that whilst a lot of streamers seem to treat copyright like a suggestion, I treat it like the actual law that it damn well is. Because you know, sod's law, if I decide, oh, I'll get away with it like every other streamer seems to think they can do, that's the moment that the music industry will turn around and go, right, now it's time to crack down on everyone we can do. And no, the whole muting it in the VOD thing, it's not a way to get around DMCA. That's not how it works. It makes it not present in the VOD, yeah. But people will still use the music illegally. Not a good play. Most curious thing on that, to me, I'll be quite honest, is that there is significant overlap. I mean serious overlap in the Venn diagram of creators that would use music they don't have the rights to, and creators that would get very upset if someone started posting their clips, their streams, whatnot, on their own TikTok channel or what have you. Happily steal the music, far less happy when someone steals the stream. And I'm not saying that hypothetically, I've seen it time and time again. yeah. That's what I mean by stream safe. We actually follow the rules here.
Marking critical anarch supply caches.
Alright, let's get these caches. We're on 9 orders completed. We should be able to get well through 10 and therefore get started on 11. Don't know we'll get to 12. In fact, no, we won't get to 12. 11 would be nice. This is a awkward one that can get into range from below. Oh, that's quite the bug you found there, Fox. Not gonna read it out. Well, it's not too. It's bug, but that's quite the bug you found there. Yeah. Oh, no, no. I've done that wrong. Time waste. This way. Okay, free the allies.
Get in trouble. Must stop captor.
Do that.
Return king to hide.
Launch this way. Trigger this one. Launch back. Come down. 2 down. There we go. 44 seconds. Come on, give me my way. This way. Getting into position is going to take a while here. Depending on the order, we might be able to get the Warframe to spawn. Unlikely we'll get the order completed. No, we're not going to get the order completed. Targeting array takes too long.
Because of anarch pinpoint strikes. Need you to take out their targeting array and give our guys a fighting chance.
Yeah. The focus now is on trying to get that Warframe to spawn. Grab this in case I need to plug it in. 10 seconds. It's not going to happen. I won't have enough time to kill it and get the loot. Nope. Too late. Ah! The difference a few seconds make. Okay, let's do this. Raw buff. I currently don't have advanced formation active, so I should be able to stack up the gun a bit. Oh wait, no, I do have advanced formation active. Well, it's about to run out. There we go. So now I've got the full buff from the evolution. Oh, oh, ho, 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 ho. Trying to hit the headshot for the recharge there, but we'll take what I got. There's the headshot. That's still good enough. Not the fastest kill possible, but that's still good enough for me.
All our people were betrayed in the old war. The more we remember, the better our chance of a new peace.
Very good returns. Okie dokie. Looks like we've had a couple more survey responses during this stream. It's very, very nice. Yeah, that's all looking good on that side. Alright, cool. So, that's all fine there. Yeah. I didn't expect to have a huge number of server responses because, quite simply, far fewer people watch Repo stream than they do a Warframe stream. We've got, what, 185 people here right now, and I think the Repo stream averaged 60, so it is what it is. That's all good. But yes, it's time that we do 2 giveaways. The first of those giveaways is to you lot watching right now. Let's get that loaded up onto here. We'll take just a moment. And there it is. Okie dokie. That's killed the background music let's take my face out of the way. We're going to do a draw for 75 platinum here. So let's open that up to the chat here. Giveaway is now open. Exclamation mark enter for a chance to win 75 platinum. This platinum is provided by DE themselves, so they hand it out in batches roughly every couple of weeks. We'll give y'all a moment to enter into that. Exclamation mark enter for a chance to win that 75 plat. Doesn't matter if this is your first time here. Doesn't matter if it's your very first message. Everyone has the same chance of winning, even despite the fancy fashion we've got going on. If you are a VIP or subscriber to the channel, you can also update your fashion to your liking of a different avatar using the exclamation mark pick frame command. Exclamation mark pick frame, and then whichever avatar you wish to switch to from the available options. But that's only if you are VIP or subscriber. It's a cosmetic upgrade. Darth Washbear, hold on. Were you the person I wanted to speak to about something? Yes, Darth Washbear. Quick question for you. You filled out the survey that I put out, right? Just making sure I'm correct on that. Did you fill out the survey I handed out? Yeah, there's so many levels because the Lavos Prime is the default on here, yeah. You did. Okay, cool. So it was yourself then. Quick question, Darth. Are you certain you selected the options you wanted to select? Are you certain you gave your actual opinion? Just trying to be vague about this, but those who know, know. If you are certain, then I've got my information that I need there. It's just more a case of... Did you? Darth Washbear is not in trouble, not in the slightest. You sure you did? Okay. Is it alright if I DM you later about your response on the survey then? I'm actually gonna triple check. I have the right person. Bad if I am wrong here. To that one. Yeah, that is the person. Yep, I have got that right. Yep, that's you. Sure. Alright, cool. I just want to get a little more information is all. That's all. Alright, what are we entering for? You entered without even knowing? Oh, okay. This is a 75 plat giveaway, which is not connected to the giveaway command, sorry, Ellie. But yeah, it's a 75 plat giveaway as provided by DE, and I think it's about time we do that draw. Alright then. Good luck everyone who's entered. Let's do the draw. Only one person can be the winner of this one. Let's see who it's going to be today. Is it Brother Oni? No, of course not. He's right up the front of the charge. That is not the place you want to be if you want to win these. Being first is good in a race. This is not a race. This is about survival. This is about making sure you are the last one to enter so that the big bad boss runs out of shots, because they very conveniently always have just one too few shots when we're doing a one-person giveaway like this, and it is Joker... What's that? Joker Kell of Clowns is our winner here today. Congratulations there, Joker. That 75 plat is going to be yours, and it looks like we already have your details on record as well. Would you look at that? So you don't need to do anything else. That plat will be coming your way very shortly. It'll be in your inbox within the next couple weeks. Do you send it out in batches? I think the next batch is actually relatively soon due. Now that I've said it, I have to check. Yes, yeah, actually next batch should be due just next week. So you're looking forward to that in your inbox next week. Huzzah. Now, before we wrap up, we ain't done here. We are done with this particular giveaway. However, if I just go to the commands and quickly turn off the enter command, we do also have from our survey entrance. So those of you who entered the survey, or did the survey before stream, I did announce it over on Discord, and to give a little extra to those of you who are paying attention on the Discord and helping to support the channel, that also means that we've got an Omniformer bundle giveaway, specifically for those who entered into the survey before the stream. So let me just grab all of those names, because I've already copied those down. I've got this prepared. So it's going to say giveaway open, you can enter, you can't enter. That command is currently disabled because I'm just using the same program. So let's see here. Here's our entries. So here are those who have entered into the survey and therefore for a chance to win an Omniformer bundle. Look at how that just slides on. Ain't that beautiful? Yeah, Darth Washboy, I saw you try. I saw you try. How many answers did the survey get? I think there were in total 20... Oh, it's gone up. 27 responses now. But there were a total of 20 people who entered into the giveaway. So out of those 20, only one of them will be the winner of the Omniformer bundle. Let's see who that is. By using the same good old process. Now, I put a lot of effort into making this, so of course I'm going to keep using it. So this is specifically for our survey responders. This time it is actually BiteBitson. BiteBitson, thank you very much for giving your thoughts, your opinions on the Ripper stream there. And to everyone actually for giving your thoughts on it. But Bite, you are going to feel those thanks a little bit more. Let's go ahead and give you that. So, if we pop ourselves back into a Warframe proper, boop, we should be able to send that over right now. I've always said, I've done the survey. I've copied every single person's name who submitted it before the stream. That was the stipulation there. So, there it is, Omniformer bundle. Let's gift that over to, that was BiteBitson. Oh, look at that, it filled it in for me. Thanks for part of the community. No. Do not clip that one. Absolutely not. Thanks for being part of the community. There we go. Okie dokie. Oh boy. Oh dear. Alrighty then. Alrighty. There we are. Akaboy, done this morning UK time. Akaboy, are you seeing this like you weren't part of the giveaway draw that just happened? Are you complaining? Or are you just saying you did it? I can't tell. Genuinely cannot tell. Because I can see who filled out the survey. Are you asking me to go through and check if you filled it out or not? I mean, I can only see if you submitted your username, of course. I done the survey. Yeah, seems like a complaint to me. Let's have a look. Interesting, you done it before stream. Okay. Well, as you're just saying that and not saying anything else, I guess we got no further purpose of this conversation then. Fair enough then. Thank you for submitting the survey. Much appreciated. Can I see the email addresses with the answers? I cannot know. That was not requested as part of it, so that's just simply not there. Google Forms should tell you whenever your email address is either required or recorded. And in this case, it wasn't. Because I didn't need the email addresses. About the only time I use email address recording is if either it's a really big giveaway, I want to make sure there's no duplicates, or if it's the moderators, because when they submit the forms, I want to be sure I've definitely got the right person involved on that, just in case of any issues. Not that that ever happens, the mod team are amazing. Genuinely. I think out of the entire time we've had the mod team, I think there's been like 2 instances ever where I've had to pull up the mod team themselves. We've got a really good team here, honestly. That's in like 5 years of it. Anyway, that means we've now done our plat giveaway, we've now done our Omniformer bundle giveaway, we've done our bits and pieces for the stream there, we've had a good old chinwag about a variety of bits and pieces. I know there's a couple topics I've not actually touched onto today, but they're just not the right time to do so, so we'll get to those another time. But for now, this is where we're going to have to raid on out of here. Let's see, who can we say hello to today? Let's go to an intermission screen. Feel the background sound there, just in case something Inappropriate comes through. We're not going to go over to that one. Who do we say hello to? Oh my word. Okay. I don't know who Limalicious is or Gmart is, but damn, alright. Does anyone else here know who either of those two streamers are? We could raid into them, but I don't actually know who they are at this point in time. And that is not giving me a lot of answers. Anything? I've heard of Lime before, don't know much about them. Okay. Fair enough. Seeing as the entirety of the answers I have here is that Ellie has heard of Lime. Let's go for it. Why not? Explore, see what we come across. And raid is up. There we go. So we're going to be heading out of here. We're going to head on over to Limalicious. Let's see what they get up to. Maybe they like lime things. Maybe they are malicious against limes. I don't know. Let's find out. But that is all we got time for today. Thank you very much for everyone for joining in. Hope you do enjoy yourselves as ever. And I'll see you in the middle of the week next week for some more good old Warframe. Till then, bye-bye.